What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Project Cars 2. Today we're going to be going through the Porsche Legends Pack. This is the newest DLC car pack for Project Cars 2. I'm going to be going over all 9 new cars and the new track, which is the Porsche, I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically that track you're seeing right there is the new track, and it's what I'll be driving all the cars on today. We start off with our first car, the Porsche 908/03 Spider. This is a pretty interesting looking car. It's got some crazy kind of wings on the back. It's like a spoiler, but it's not, you know, a proper spoiler. It's just like these wings on the back. You see it quite a lot with older cars, older race cars. And I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. This thing has 350 horsepower, sorry. It's 175 miles an hour. That's its top speed. It's a pretty nice car, actually, a nice one to start off driving. I probably won't be driving the circuit particularly well in this video because this is my first ever time driving this track, and it is a very strange track. The next car is the Porsche 911 Carrera RSR 2.8. This thing's pretty cool, 308 horsepower with this, 156 miles an hour. A little bit of a stranger one to drive, not as nice to drive as the previous car. It feels a little bit wallowy, a little bit wobbly, but you know, you kind of expect that from an old Porsche. This is from 1973, so you know, it's a pretty old car. This is also kind of a race car, not to the extent of the previous car. You know, it's a road car made into a race car, and yeah, it's a little bit wobbly. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but it's still a nice little fun thing to drive around. The next car is the Porsche 911 RSR. This is basically, it's a GTE Porsche, which is pretty cool. 525 horsepower, top speed of 184. I believe this competes with, you know, the Chevrolet Corvette. Sometimes they count those in GT3, sometimes they count them in GTE. They're pretty similar categories from what I know, but yeah, this is in the GTE category. It's a pretty nice car. I mean, not too much to say about it. Pretty similar to drive to, you know, GT3 cars and stuff like that. So not too much to say about it, just another nice car to have in the pack. Next up, we have probably the craziest car in the pack, the Porsche 917/10. This thing is ridiculous. 220 mile an hour top speed, which is crazy. But get this, it has exactly 1000 horsepower. That's a hell of a lot of power. Also, it looks like it basically has a snowplow on the front of it. I mean, look at the shape of this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really digs into the ground when you go around corners. It has so much grip. It's actually really fun to drive. It's a little bit crazy, but you know, it is the crazy car of the pack. It is the most powerful car in the pack by quite a long way. But yeah, I mean, it's really fun. It's something different, nice to have in this game. Next up, we have the Porsche 917K. I believe this is, I mean, this and the previous car, they're both called the 917. The other one's the /10, this one's the 917K. And they do both look pretty different. They have similarities, but you know, this one is from 1970. I believe the other one was from 1971, I think. But I mean, this is pretty cool, this car. 219 miles an hour top speed. Only 600 horsepower in this one though. I say only, still a decent amount of power, but you know, we're quite a bit down. We're 400 horsepower down on that previous car, but yeah, this thing once again pretty quick, pretty fun to drive around. Pretty similar to the other car, actually, just not quite as crazy. The next car is the Porsche 935/78. Now, there's actually 2 versions of this car that were added in this DLC. There's this one, which is the 78-81, and then there's just the 78. I think that's just years. This one was made in 81, the other one was made in 1978. So they're both pretty much the exact same car. They have some slight differences. Main difference that I can see is the spoiler. The spoiler is a little bit different on the other version. Apart from that though, all the statistics are the same. Both have 800 horsepower, both 228 mile an hour top speed, same weight and everything. And yeah, I think we had this car in Forza not long ago. It's not bad. Next up, we get onto a road car. We have the Porsche 959S. Not the most amazing car. I mean, probably, maybe even my least favorite in the pack. It's not the nicest thing to drive. It's not particularly quick. It's only in Road E class. This thing has 450 horsepower, top speed of 198. So I mean, it's not a bad top speed. A car from 1987, definitely not bad. But yeah, it just doesn't feel quite. It's not as fun to drive as some of the other cars. It's probably my least favorite in the pack. However, it's nice to have it, you know. It's an alright looking car. It's not my favourite looking Porsche. I prefer the 911s, but yeah, it's not bad. And then the final car in this pack is the Porsche Carrera GT. Now this is a pretty iconic car for me. I mean, I'm used to, remembering playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original. This was pretty much the highest level car in the game. It's a really crazy thing from 2004. 603 horsepower, has a top speed of 205 miles an hour. It's a pretty cool looking car, it's a pretty cool sounding car. And yeah, I mean, the Porsche Carrera GT is always going to be one of my favorite Porsches. It's just a cool little thing. It's convertible, which is also cool, adds a little bit to it, and yeah, it's quite a bit different from the 911s and stuff, so it differentiates from that. And yeah, it's just a pretty good car. But anyway, that is it. That is the Porsche Legends Pack for Project Cars 2. A pretty good pack. You get 9 cars, 8 if because 2 of them are basically the same, and then you get the new track as well. The new track's pretty cool. It's a little bit strange. There's a few very strange corners on it, but it's a pretty unique track, definitely. And yeah, so altogether I think this is actually a pretty decent DLC. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.